It's time to look at the Revolvers, one of Perfect Random's favorite gun classes, as it's one of two that feature a trinket that give them a damage boost. That's one of the reasons we had to separate them from the pistols. Not only that, but they are a different class type in-game. You've got pistols, revolvers, SMGs, so on and so forth. We'll get to all of them. There's 8. We'll get to all of them. That is the reason I didn't put them with the pistols, because they are different in-game, so I wanted to respect that. There is only 4 of them, so I had to throw the flicker on the tier list here, because for some reason this website made me pick 5, and it's like, what if you're like ranking World Wars, you know? How do you do that? You don't. In case you didn't see the pistols tier list, I would maybe consider starting there before you come over here, but if you don't care about pistols and sulfur, that's just fine. You could start here and you'll do just great. Once again, I decided not to do a tier list of all the guns in the game, and it seems like most of you agree with that. It's just too complicated, and the assault rifles are just, it's gonna be way too top heavy, so in order to give everybody a fair shot, we're gonna have to do it this way, even if there's only 4 of them. And there's a few different weapon classes that only have 4 choices, or in some cases 2 LMGs. What the heck? When are we gonna get a new LMG? There's plenty of good options we could do with LMGs. I would like an LMG grenade launcher. That would be really neat. I'm not the only one with an explosive complex or some whatever you want to call that. Even though there's only 4 revolvers in the game, this was still really difficult to decide how I wanted to approach this, because 2 of them are very similar. One of them is weird, and the other one is weird too, so I don't even know. This is going to come down to extreme personal preference. I'm telling you right now, revolvers are mostly personal preference. I do think there's a winner here, but it's just, this is going to be rough. We're going to start alphabetically, so we're going to start with the 357 Balthazar. Now, this revolver is my favorite revolver in the game. I think it's funny looking, and it's got like that, I don't, it's not funny looking, it's cool looking. When I see the Balthazar, I'm inspired to create one of a wackier build, something cartoonish, comic. I like to amp the recoil up to 1,000,000. Again, it's personal preference. It's really tough, because when you compare it to the other ones, so if we compared it to, most specifically, the biggest threat to it taking the top spot would be the Palehorse Topclipper. They're very similar guns. They start with 2 different ammo types, the Balthazar being the 7.62, the Palehorse Topclipper being the 5.56, but you can put whatever chisel on there. You're probably going to put a BMG or a shotgun chisel, because those are the 2 that really amplify your guns the most, so I don't know why you wouldn't consider those over the 5.56 or 7.62. Now, there are times where builds call for one of those, especially if you don't want to deal with recoil, so don't feel like you have to use the BMG or the 12-gauge chisel, because the other ones can work too. 9mm is a very rare choice, but it's still there. So the damage numbers between them are exactly the same, despite when you pick them up, they look different. That is just the ammo typing. All of the revolvers kind of have weird reloads, not so much the Wyatt Pulsar, but the Balthazar and the Palehorse Topclipper definitely have weird reloads, and to be honest, the Balthazar only having 4 shots and what is pretty long for a reload time, I mean, that's what hurts it the most. If the reload was a little bit quicker, considering it's got such a low mag, I would probably consider putting it in the same tier as the Palehorse Topclipper, but I'm going to be honest, right now, I got to put the Balthazar right here. I only love it because it makes me think of goofier builds. It's big in design. It makes you feel like a big man when you hold it, or a big woman or an individual. You know, you just feel large and in charge, and I think that's the purpose of the Balthazar, but at the same time, how much do we need to feel like a big man when we can perform like a big man? I'm starting to sound like a protein bar commercial. I'm honest, I gotta be honest here, Palehorse Topclipper, after like combing through the data and using them both for the past hour, I mean, I've used them so much, but I did have this realization that I don't make a lot of revolver builds. Despite there being a trinket in the game for them, I don't have a lot of use with the revolvers. In fact, I would rather use a pistol, being the Star and Witness. I've made so many Star and Witness builds, I think it's because it is so unique, over these. But the Palehorse Topclipper doesn't just beat the Balthazar in reload time, it also has its own built-in ADS with the little sight thing, which I actually think looks really good, and I prefer not to put a sight on the Palehorse Topclipper because I love the look of the built-in iron sights. That's the word. Not only that, the spread is 2. The RPM is low across the board when it comes to revolvers, which makes sense. It's a revolver. They're big. They're supposed to be like little mini hand cannons. That makes sense that it would take a bit of time for you to get each shot out. So if you're looking for something that's going to do a lot of damage in a row in succession, that's not really what you're going to be doing with a revolver. If you want to do something like that, you're going to want to put like Holy Fire on it, get that penetration. To be honest, the more I think about penetration in this game, outside of my girl Ralphie, what's up girl, I think it's weird that the Holy Fire exists, because it's so much better than all the penetration oils that I don't find myself ever using the penetration oils. And if I'm looking for a penetration build, I use Holy Fire. I'll use Holy Fire for most damage builds because it's just really strong with that damage multiplier. But this isn't about the scrolls. We will rank the scrolls. If you're wondering if that's your next question after these, we will rank the scrolls eventually. That I'm going to have to do all together, and it's going to be a process. So it's got a bigger mag, probably a quicker reload time. It definitely seems like it is. More durability than the Balthazar. I mean, come on. The only downside is you have to use the entire clip before you can reload and get more ammo in the clip. So in terms of like having to think about what areas to rush, you know, shot a couple shots and you're moving to the next room, sometimes you do want to reload. Now you have to make that decision if it's not ranked up, if you want to just shoot into the wall a few times so you can get the reload off and have a fresh clip going into a room full of goblins. That's a tough decision. When the Balthazar, you could just reload it, but it's not that big of a deal once you rank up the gun and you can put Mosquito and Satiety on it, and then you've got boom, you've got infinite ammo. You don't have to reload anymore. That's really nice. Infinite ammo is good. I mean, you could use it on most guns, and I mean, we can't sit here and ignore the fact that 2 oils to make your gun never have to reload again isn't super strong. So when I weigh those, yeah, I mean, we're early on. We're only halfway through, and I'm telling you right now, the Palehorse Topclipper has to be the creme de la creme, the king champ of the revolvers, in my opinion, even though it's not my personal favorite. I'm going to give it that level up here because it has so many advantages over the other guns. Yeah, even though I prefer the Balthazar, the feel of it, the look of it, I use it way more often, I gotta give it to the Palehorse. The Palehorse is the winner to me in this, and I'm putting aside my own personal views for that. So, I'm gonna shatter someone else's personal views, because the Snut, with the introduction of the flicker, basically has no purpose to me. The only like outstanding thing that the Snut does compared to the other options in revolvers is the fact that it takes up 4 slots in your inventory, whereas in the other ones are going to take up 3 or 6. I keep doing that. It's like 3 lines, and I tell myself that's 3 slots. I did it a bunch in the last video. I'm surprised nobody pointed it out. I'm so sorry. The pistols tier list, I was like, when I went back and I was editing it, I was like, why did I say 2 so much? 2 and 3 and no, 6. They'll take up 6 slots, where this guy is only going to take up 4. We're looking at a mag size of 6. We're looking at a 2.5 spread. This thing gets more spread. It's clearly supposed to be a gimmick gun. It's the gun that your grandma's got in her ankle holster. That's fun, and that can be fun to build around. But with the flicker making for a better utility option, I just don't even use this thing anymore. I sold my pocket rocket immediately, and it's just like, it almost makes me want to put it up here and throw the flicker in. For this list, that does kind of make sense. No, I can't say it's garbage. It's still a very usable gun, and I would say it's easier to make a decent gun build out of it than, say, the Bronco or the Unknown. I find that you can have pretty good success doing that. Maybe make it into a little SMG or something. If an ammo SMG, you probably have some fun with it. It's not too bad. The reload time isn't horrendous, and like I said, it is kind of a fun little build and something you could throw in your inventory. Only take up 4 slots. Just use the flicker, sweetheart. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with using the flicker from here on whenever. I'm kind of juggling like a million things right now, so my head is going crazy, but you know, I want to make these tier lists. I love talking about the guns. I love looking for an excuse to shoot the guns off at the church and shoot Kevin in the face here and there, you know. That's always a good time. Maybe I should consider, instead of needs work, throwing it mid, but yeah, I guess. I don't know what you do for the Snut to make it more, you know, usable, accessible. It's just going to be the way it is. I think there's not much we can do there. It's supposed to be a shitty little gun that you wouldn't use too often. It's supposed to be something you find early on that you're like, oh, cool, it's like baby's first revolver. But don't give a baby a revolver, or else you run the risk of Mr. Burns being shot, and we don't need that again. So for the last one, this is weird. The Wyatt Pulsar is very strange. It doesn't match my personal preferences at all. Like, I understand the appeal in it, and I think it has more of a place than the Unknown does, because at least you can charge it up and do some crazy damage with it because of the charge up, whereas in the Unknown it's just a mess of an energy weapon. So yeah, you can't put many attachments on it, being that it is an energy weapon. You can't chisel it, none of that stuff, but you could shoot like, what is it? What's the mag size? 18? You can shoot like 36 bullets at a time. So you could build a decent cousin one-shotter. Of course, Lucia and the Terror Bomb are harder to one-shot because they have invulnerability. quickly, so this is not going to be a solid choice for that, but you could probably work something out. I cooked something up quickly and was able to shatter Cousin easily. So, I mean, if you're looking for something that's got incredible one-shot potential, the Wyatt Pulsar is there for you. It's also going to eat all of your ammo. So, I mean, that's the thing. If you're not building an infinite ammo, this is an ammo consumer. If you don't have a lot of energy ammo, you are not going to like this thing. That might be why I'm like a little resentful on it, and I didn't like it initially because of that, and that's kind of like stayed with me. Any of these could be your number one. I admit that I love the Balthazar more than I should. Most people probably put the Pulsar in front of the Balthazar. I will give the Pulsar points for design. It's very fun looking, and the name is cool. Wyatt Pulsar is like super fun to say. That's gonna be Seb's younger brother, I hope. No. Although that could work. Wyatt Pulsar. Like that middle name, that could work. I don't know. I'll have to fly. But I'm not crazy about the name Wyatt. All right? It's too old. All names are old, though, when you think about it. Unless you start naming, like, Elon Musk and Kanye West names, like, your names are old. But I'm not done talking about the Wyatt Pulsar, because the Wyatt Pulsar shares a very interesting bug that will probably be patched out at some point, in the fact that you can make it infinite durability. And once I'm done with this, I am actually going to make a video that hopefully will be uploaded tonight about infinite durability, because I found something huge with that. So if you have not watched the video that was hopefully uploaded before this, watch that, because I found something crazy with infinite durability that changes the entire landscape of infinite heads. I know you're out there. All right, there's maybe not an infinite number of you, but it is cool to have bugs like that. The catch, though, and this is another reason why I got to dock it points, I guess, is another reason why I don't like it as much, is because other guns like the Dart or the Breacher, which are two other charged weapons, the only other two charged weapons, to be honest, it's not an honesty thing, it's the truth. My honest truth. If you decide to run it infinite durability, the catch is you can't drain the clip. You have to tap it, bop, 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 instead of using that full charge. And when you're just tapping the Wyatt Pulsar, it's not very strong, and it's more about the gimmick of charging it up. I'm gonna give myself a little push here. In any other world, you could definitely put the Wyatt Pulsar at number one or above the Balthazar, but I'm not going to do that here today. Well, it's that simple. There's only 4 revolvers, and not too much to talk about when it comes to the revolvers. They do share that special trait of having the Sheriff's Badge, which is a trinket that raises their damage 15%, so they are fun to build around. But the assault rifles, I find you get better mileage out of. They have higher durabilities, higher rate of fire. You can make them semi-auto. They just kind of do everything better than the revolvers. I find myself not often wanting to build off of these if I'm looking for a higher tier, really strong weapon. I don't reach for the revolver, to be honest. But I still think that they have a place, and I have made plenty of Balthazars, so even in that, I still have my favorite, and I think that's good that they have options, so you don't have to have one crazy build of each gun, although I do plan on making one crazy build of each gun as time goes on. I've done it in the past, and Caden brought that idea to my attention on the, I think it was the lawnmower build, but that's not important. That's not important. I don't need to be sitting here thinking about different builds that I've made. That's weird. Even though we are talking about guns, this is the perfect place to do it. At the bottom of mid, we have the Snut 38. It's definitely the weakest revolver in the game. I don't think anyone can argue that. It's mostly just a meme. It's mostly here just a meme. It's a gimmick gun. It's your grandma's purse gun. It's whatever. The top 3, like I said, are totally interchangeable. Most of you is probably gonna put the Balthazar underneath the Wyatt Pulsar. Not this guy. I'm going to put the Wyatt Pulsar in 3rd place. The Balthazar is leading the team in pretty stinking good. And then the Palehorse Clop. Okay, I don't blame myself for that mess up. Clop, like a horse. Palehorse, clop, clop. You know, like when they walk around, like their horsey feet clop. I think that's what you call it. I see onomatopoeia for that, right? Is clopping. The Palehorse Topclipper is busted, in my opinion. It's the best of the group here. I have to put aside my own personal feelings, my thoughts and feelings on my sweet baby Balthazar to give Palehorse Topclipper the number 1 spot. I think it's deserved. I gotta say, if we have 4 of these, stop giving us shotguns and maybe work on some new revolvers, please. After you work on LMGs, with there only being 2 LMGs, please give us more LMGs, give us more revolvers. They're very fun things you could do with both weapon types. I'd love to see more in the future. I want to see something crazy come out of this. Please, I know you got what it takes, Perfect Random. You guys are nuts, and I love you for it. Not as much as I love the members of the channel. Thank you, everyone who has joined the homie Dot. I appreciate you. My wife appreciates you. My son appreciates you. You guys are great, and I look forward to scheming up some additional membership-only videos. I'm thinking most of the time it's going to be edited down streams so that if you don't want to watch a full 2 to 4 hour stream, you could watch the highlights. That way everybody else isn't missing out on stuff. Or if I want to do something weird that doesn't fit in the scheme of SULFUR, maybe play a different game or something, or if you guys have requests. If you guys specifically make requests for membership videos, I'm more than happy to do it because you were more than happy to smash that join button. Next time, we'll be looking at the next set of guns. No spoilers.